Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is great to be with you on this evening. It might be a little bit gloomy outside, but that is okay because it is so bright here. We can feel the blessing. It is coming through our screens. Yes, we can feel love. Yes, we could feel cheer. And yes, we focus today our blessing on that of gratitude. And we bring new levels of these emotions as tonight we come together to offer thanks to our retiring school principal, Supa Deshen. My name is Rabbi Daniel Michaelberg. We're joined all the way from St. Louis from cantorial student Daniel Geigerman, and lots of friends who have joined us for this festive occasion. Let's begin with song. We'll begin as we turn to lights, as we think about the physical lights that we'll be lighting shortly, but also the spiritual, the metaphorical lights that are near and far. Let us look to Daniel.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Now we've kindled those sparks inside. Now let us kindle those lights that are on the outside. I'm going to invite Michael Parkin's class, the grade 9s and the grade 10s, to join us on the screen to kindle our Shabbat lights.
Okay, if you're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Hi, I'm Michael Parkin. I teach grade 9 in the confirmation class. Sue and I have been friends for more than 40 years. Even in her teens, it was easy to see that she was good with people, that she brought a measure of joy to those around her. She was especially good with young people. She was a great frosty advisor. It's been a pleasure watching her become herself. Several years ago, I stepped away from involvement at Temple other than attending services from time to time. After a few years, I was feeling ready to get involved again, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. Then one Shabbat after services, she asked me if I would consider teaching the confirmation class. It was the right thing at the right time, and I've been doing it since. Twice I tried to quit, but encouragement from parents and cajoling from Sue, I'm still at it. I truly enjoy working with teens. They're growing intellectually and emotionally and dealing with the bumps that growth brings. They even develop some interpersonal sensitivity. So I asked the people in my class if they would write a few words about their memories of Morah Sue. Here's what some of the kids wrote. Despite how long I've been going to Temple, I never knew Morah Sue very well, but I still know her well enough to know how kind she is, how much of a positive impact she's had on our community. I hope that she can have just as much of a positive impact at the JCC. That's from Sarah. Noah wrote, even though I did not get to know her that well within her years at Temple, I can tell she is really kind and helpful. When she is around, there's laughter and enthusiasm. Plus, she has a great singing voice. All of us at Temple will greatly miss her when she leaves. From Noah. Sue helped me learn Torah portions for Yom Kippur. Even though I didn't need to read the Torah, I chose to. And Sue helped me complete that goal. She changed the way Temple does certain activities to include me, Jonas, and Jonah because of our allergies. Thank you, Morah Sue, for being the principal of Temple Israel. Tyler. My memory was that year after year, she made it sure that if there was food, I could have it. That's from Jonah. When I started coming to Hebrew school in grade 7, you were the first person who welcomed me in. From our first conversation, I knew you were making the temple a better place. At first, I was really afraid to meet new people, but thanks for making me feel like I fit in. Naomi. From Jessica. Sue tutors my sister for her bat mitzvah. One time I stubbed my toe and yelled loudly, interrupting her tutoring. Instead of acting annoyed, she laughed it off with me and my sister. Although I didn't get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with her, I can see how she radiates positive energy and makes everyone feel welcome, including myself. I will miss the warmth she brought to our temple school. And from Jonas. I don't know my first memory of Morah Sue. I just remember her always being there in the community. She was always around, leading us in song, or just stopping by to say hi. She made everyone feel like family. I will miss her being around. So that's what my kids had to say. And I just, she's been a remarkable person, and I've surely, truly enjoyed working with her. Thank you, Morah Sue.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you to the grade 9s and 10s. Let's now turn to our Sidurim. We'll actually bring the words up on the screen as well. We're going to continue with the Lecha Dodi. If you're following along at home, it's on page 138. We'll also post the link for the flip book so you can follow. Make sure you're singing loud so that even your neighbors can hear. And just a few words of introduction as we continue to get ready for Shabbat, as we now continue with Lecha Dodi. It's sort of like getting ready for the first day of school, or even just getting ready for the morning. There's a buzz and there's an energy. There are countless friendly faces. and there's an anticipation in the air. And so it is with that we join together for Lecha Dodi as we package these beautiful emotions as we sing together as one.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Shamu v'zachor v'dibur echad Kishrianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem ol tiferet v'lit hilal echad dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'echad dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nercha Ki im mekor ha'baracha Merosh mikedem nesucha V'maseh b'mashavat hila lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Hitoreri Ki ba'orek u'mi'ori Uri shir daberi Kivod Adonai elech nigla lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Moi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'betzola Toch emunei am segula Moichala Lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela.
I invite you to rise as we turn to the Baruch Hu in our Siddurim. We're on page 146.
Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Yai dai dai Yai dai 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 Yai dai dai Yai dai 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 Yai dai dai Yai
Please join me. I'm on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters time, and changes the season, arranging the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu, ukveinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, le'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael.
So many of us have memories of our days in religious school. I'm sure that they're memories of being perfectly well behaved and following every word of the teacher. Okay, maybe not quite, but we are reminded as we reflect that sometimes we need a wake-up call. We need to have in front of us the importance of listening carefully to the precious words that are before us. And the Shema, it serves as that reminder. And how beautiful that we have a family with of siblings in 3 different years who will lead us in the Shema. It's my pleasure to invite the Shapiros to call us, to remind us to listen. I invite us to rise, and Cantor Daniel will continue with the Vahavta.
Okay.
Yeah. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meodecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha.
כמוך בית לימדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך בית לימדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אליך, נורא תהילות אוסף אליך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
What a pleasure to now invite Jenny Burns to come forward and to share some further words.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm getting a high five from a toddler for a job well done, apparently. So I'm speaking on behalf of another student, Ari, who wasn't able to log on tonight, but wrote some very kind and beautiful words that should be shared. Shabbat Shalom. Morah Sue, or Suey as I call her, is 100% the best thing to happen to TIRS. I remember when I was in grade 3, I would always look forward to music class, especially when Sue was there, because then I got to hear her pretty voice, as I called it. When TIRS was still in person, I remember that I would always anticipate a break when I could pretend to get annoyed so I could go see how Sue was doing. Well, that and go look around her office in search of yummy things, which I almost always found, mostly things like stale gummy bears. All these memories are awesome, but I think that my favorite memory of all is morning Havdalah. All the kids would gather, or maybe clump is a better word. Yeah, we would clump around Sue so we could be the first to ask if we could hold the candles or the mini wine cups. Really, everyone should have done what I did. I just kept asking and asking and asking until Sue would say yes just to get rid of me. Or she would say, no, leave me alone. And then I would leave heartbroken. It was all in good fun, but upon seeing how distraught I was, even jokingly, Sue would always say yes purely for the joy of making me smile. This shows how big a heart Sue has in that little body of hers. This is the world Sue made for us in TIRS. She made a place of music, beauty, prayers, and even silliness and fun. She made TIRS our home away from home, and she made our teachers and students our family. Sue is and always will be the heart of Temple Israel Religious School. We'll miss you, Sue.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you to Ari if you're watching. And let's now turn to the Amidah. We'll bring the words up on our screen. We can look to these traditional words, or we can look to the words that we have in our heart. If you're following in your Siddur, we are on page 164.
You are blessed and you are holy. You are blessed and you are praised. You are blessed and you are faithful to the ones who praise your name. You are kind and you are healing. You are cleansing of my soul. You are loved and pure and gracious. You are real and make me whole. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. You are wise and you are sparing. You are merciful and clear. You are utter perfection, no more wrong direction. I'm loved and I am here. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Open my lips for your praises, they'll show through your graces. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Open up my lips. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ukonei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים וחסד, וחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
I'm going to invite Michael Cotton now to lead us with the English words on page 173, and we'll bring them up on the screen too.
Okay. May these hours of rest is it working? Okay.
Good.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Michael. And we turn our prayers to prayers for Shalom as we continue with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol hein ub'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We find ourselves reading Parashat Chukat this week, and very quickly we notice that the Israelites, they are thirsty. Often our thoughts will take this Torah portion quite literally. We will think about the water, the H2O that we crave, but we can also look at this metaphorically. We can think, who is the source of nurturing, of strength, of balance? As we close the Amidah, let us take a sip. We engage in silent prayer.
ratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'goali
It's been a week of at least walking in the direction of normalizing here in Ontario as our COVID numbers continue to get smaller and smaller, and we greet each day with hope. Though that said, we're still conscious that our healing prayers are needed near and far. And this is a time in our service where we direct our prayers, our blessing to lifting people up, perhaps even to ourselves. And so I invite you to perhaps share the names of your loved ones who you are holding in your hearts at this time, as we now have this opportunity to share words of blessing.
Misheberach Avoteinu, Misheberach Imoteinu, heal us and heal our world. Misheberach Avoteinu, Misheberach Imoteinu, heal us and heal our world. We pray for health and healing of body and spirit and mind, and for all who suffer, may their pain go away in good time. Misheberach Avoteinu, Misheberach Imoteinu, heal us and heal our world. Misheberach Avoteinu, Misheberach Imoteinu, heal us and heal our world.
So this is in fact part 2 of our celebrations of Sioux. We had the opportunity to begin this past Sunday as part of our last day of religious school, where primarily our younger students had the opportunity in creative ways to express their words of gratitude. And so for those watching, they might have seen this a second time, but the presentation was so beautiful, how could we resist? And so we'll pull up a video montage that we originally shared a few days ago.
Hi, Morah Sue. This is
Hi,
the
Morah
teacher, Dad. practicing our Alafet yoga poses, and we would like to show you some of the letters we have been practicing. Here is the Alafet. Toda Rabah, Morah, Toda Rabah.
Beautiful. I'm going to invite Heather, who I believe is with us, our executive director extraordinaire, to share some words.
Thanks, Rabbi. Susie, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for over 30 years. You have a wonderful warmth with people, young and old. You're laughing already, and a great smile and a fun sense of humor. For example, when Sue and I are in Zoom meetings, Teddy, your doggy, barks, two of mine start, and soon everybody else's dogs join in, and we're cracking up. I love your singing. I've always told you that. There's a piece you sing, Meditations by Marshall Portnoy. When you sing that, I am so moved. The Jewish Community Center Adult Ed program will be blessed with your passion and creativity. All our love. Kol Tov. That's Hebrew. I went to Hebrew school. Love you, kid.
So I shared with our religious school students on Sunday morning that I vividly remember my visit to Temple Israel. This is before I started here as a rabbi. I was just beginning to witness the beauty of this spiritual home. It was during that weekend that I had the opportunity to join the religious school, and believe it or not, in those days, I know it's crazy, we left these little boxes behind. And we used to be able to see one another in person, sit on the floor. It was a boisterous time. It was a time full of energy, enthusiasm. And I found myself quite odd because here were so many kids. They were happy to be in religious school, not something to be taken for granted. It was a perfect example of our movement with song and blessing. The kids were interweaving tradition and innovation. And the diversity was just so refreshing. Everybody having something in common. Temple is their home. Of course, such a phenomenon doesn't just happen. I would soon learn that our wonderful TRS programming is a result of careful preparing and love from Sue and her team. We are the envy of the city for our learning that we offer our young people. And for that, we can feel very proud. We know Sue well in many different forms. She's grown up with us from childhood. She's experienced every facet of Temple life. There are some things you might not know. Sue knows by heart every child's allergy, special needs. It's a remarkable feat when you have more than 100 children in your school. Sue is guided by her values. The walls of the classroom, they are infused with the principles of love, of justice, of inclusion, so much more. And Sue can be found at the building at all hours of the day, demonstrating her passion for everything Temple. It's also important for us to note this has not been the easiest of years. When our world fell apart last March, actually, 2 Marches ago, Sue pivoted immediately. We have many strengths at Temple, Technology would not have made that list in 2020. You know, it might in 2021. One more example of Sue recognizing the needs of our community and tackling them with grace. And so today is about saying thank you. Yes, we all know appreciation is important, but too often we take it for granted. So I invite you to use the Facebook feed to perhaps share your words. I'd be surprised if Sue is watching right now, but she'll have the opportunity to read those words later. You could also channel the words of your heart. I do know, and I don't kid, that we could feel it through the screen. And I encourage you to share those words of your heart. And of course, gratitude is not just for one day. So let's make sure that in days ahead, Sue knows how grateful we are for her lifetime service. You're leaving a wonderful legacy, and thank goodness you won't be far. As you take a different route on your journey, we wish you the best. And I'm now going to invite you to share with us words of Torah, followed by a few more leaders offering a presentation.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. I really appreciate that. So this week's Torah portion is called Chukat. Among other things, this parsha gives the essence of why Moses is not allowed to enter into the land that God has promised the Israelites. Until this point, Moses is seen as obeying all of the instructions God gives him, and he rightly says that it is God who is instructing the people to do God's bidding. But on this occasion, having listened to the complaints of the people wanting water and foods they had in Egypt, Moses becomes frustrated. Instead of touching a rock to bring forth water, he makes two mistakes. The first is that he says, "Listen, you rebels, shall we get water for you out of this rock?" And he strikes the rock twice. Notice that he says we, meaning Moses and Aaron, and not God, by mistake, big mistake. The second error is that, not trusting in God, Moses strikes the rock not once, as he was asked to do, but twice. It is for these two reasons that Moses is not permitted to enter the land of milk and honey, and why Joshua leads them instead. What does this have to do with me? Well, I'm not really a rebel, as most of you know, and I generally follow instructions. I tell my B'nai Mitzvah students that there is a message we can somehow relate to in every Torah portion, even the gross ones that deal very specifically with sacrifice. Actually, the part I skipped in this parsha gives step-by-step instructions on sacrificing the red heifer. But I digress. So if I had to pull a theme out of this story, I'd say leadership. As an educational leader, there are definitely rules and methods that one must follow in order to be effective. Does it mean you can't be creative? Does it mean that you can't add a dash of yourself into the role or a pinch of a colleague's experiences? Those are all okay. Every school has its own character, traditions, and practices. I feel very fortunate to have been the principal of TIRS, a school from which I graduated. That doesn't happen very often, although I did teach Hebrew in the high school I went to as well. Leading the team of teachers I've worked alongside has been such an amazing experience for me. I have learned so much from each and every one of you. Whether they come with experience or not, they have helped me to be a better leader. As a teacher, I continue to learn from my students all the time and consider it a gift to cherish. There is a saying in the Talmud, "Da lifnei mi ata omed," know before whom you are standing. To be a good educational leader, as this expression says, you have to know your audience. The students and their families, the teachers, the volunteer committee members, the temple professional staff and the board, just to name a few. It has been my honor to get to know all of you. I've listed and more. I have learned so much from this experience. But I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to mention a few others. At least for now, Renee is retiring from teaching after more than 16 years, maybe 20 at TIRS. In addition, the co-chairs of our school and youth committee, Mitch Lietman and Len Mandel, will be stepping down, making room for new leadership. Both of them have been on the committee for several years, and we appreciate everything they have done. And then there's Miriam Burke. Miriam was the co-chair with Mitch, and then as our VP, she kept the school under her duties. In a few months, she will become our Temple Israel president. I'm sure she won't have time for the school for a couple of years, but maybe she'll come back. Thank you, everyone, for your help and support. I could not have been the leader that I am without all of you, and I am so grateful for everyone who is here tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
I'm now going to invite Deidre and Miriam to come forward.
Shall I go first?
Sure, go ahead, Deidre.
My name is Deidre Butler, and I'm delighted to speak tonight to join in a chorus of voices to honor Sue Petetian. As a token of our thanks to you from Temple Israel, it's my pleasure to virtually present this talit to you, and Ranit is kindly going to give us a photo of it. I speak as a parent, a member of the board, as a fellow member of our Temple family, but also as a friend. I wanted to share a few words with you about this talit. Sorry, I'm just seeing it come up. So that everyone who knows you will understand why we chose this for you to honor your work here. Supporting Women of the Wall, this talit is entitled Spirit of Israel. For those who don't know, Women of the Wall is an organization that began with the goal of social and legal recognition of the right of women to wear prayer shawls like this one to pray and read from the Torah collectively and aloud at the Western Wall. In recent years, Women of the Wall has broadened its mandate to also fight for religious pluralism in Israel, which includes Reform Judaism. This talit marks the 70th anniversary of the State of Israel and the 30th anniversary of Women of the Wall's advocacy for women and religious inclusion in Israel. Its rich blue and white accents embody the classic motif of the Israel flag, while the verse, let me hear your voice, adds a call for inclusion. The Spirit of Israel talit bridges historical and contemporary aspirations, united in our hopeful vision of freedom for all. We chose this talit to honor you, Sue. It weaves together your love for the land and people of Israel, your commitment to Jewish life, and your clear, strong voice as an educator advocating for the broadest possible Kalal Yisrael. It is being presented to you virtually as it has not yet arrived in Canada. We ordered this during the recent tragic events in Israel. We ordered it with the risk that it might not be here for you today, but with the belief that you would support Israel at this time more than ever, even if it meant delaying your own pleasure to hold this talit in your hands. It will come. Like the tzitzit on this prayer shawl, each of our ties to you are joyfully varied and richly entangled. They bind us together to you as you move forward into this new and exciting role serving our larger Jewish community in Ottawa. As you wrap this talit around you in prayer, know that our lives are richer, our community is stronger because of the work you have done and continue to do. With thanks and blessings to you and your family, Kol HaKavod, all the honor to you, Yasher Koach, may you move from strength to strength.
So now I'm thinking maybe I should have gone first. I'm Miriam Burke, and I'm here today to speak on behalf of the board, but I'm actually speaking on behalf of my own family and myself as a longtime parent of the school, as a member of the school committee, as Sue mentioned, as a member of the board, of course, and as a friend. So I'll just say that in the 6 years of Sue's term as principal, and long before that as teacher and many other roles, we've been through a few plagues. We've been through a flood at the school, the pandemic, and possibly others, but we've missed a few as well, like no frogs or locust. But whatever comes along, Sue always has risen to each challenge and made the very best of it for our students. And since Sue has taken over as principal, our school has grown in numbers and really gone from strength to strength. It'll be strange not to see Sue around at Temple or on Zoom as much anymore, and we'll miss seeing her. But thankfully, she's not totally leaving us, and she'll still be here to teach and to mentor. Yesterday, I want to share with you that the board unanimously adopted the following motion in Sue's honor: that the board recognize and applaud the lifelong dedication and leadership of Sue Peteshin, including since 2015 as principal of Temple Israel Religious School. And the board wishes to convey our warm wishes for success as the Adult Education and Cultural Program Manager at the JCC. That was unanimous by the board. So it really isn't goodbye. It's just Lehitraot. And really, we just want to say Toda Rabah to you, Morah Sue. And on behalf of the Board of Temple and from me to you, we'd like to express our gratitude and appreciation for all that you've done and all that you do for TIRS and for our Temple family. Kol hakavod, and we wish you every success and happiness in your new role at the JCC, and know that you will be here for us in so many other ways, teaching, tutoring, mentor, and whatever else comes along.
Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. I'm an ugly
Say
crier.
thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm going to invite Cantor Daniel to come back to lead us in a traditional prayer of thanks for the role of teachers in our world as we dedicate these words to our Morah Sue.
For our teachers and their students, and the students of the students, we ask for peace and loving kindness here and everywhere. May they be blessed with all they need, and let us say amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say amen. We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say amen, amen.
We turn back to our Sidurim. I invite you to rise. We continue with Aleinu Leshabech.
It's up to us to call ourselves to task, to sing what's good and true, to bring about redemption. It's what we were freed to do. For what's the point of being here if we're not moved to change our ways? Aleinu lishabeach, it's time to sing our praise. Aleinu lishabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ודעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Zecher Tzadik Livracha. At this time in our service, we direct our prayers, our blessings to those who are not with us physically, but who we know are never far. We begin as we recall Shloshim, Paul Press, and David Mackow. And we recall the yard sites that occur at this season: Jean Dover, Hannah Chaya Angel, Queenie Davis Gordon, Rona Hollenberg Levenstein, Nancy Corley, Grant Bisbach, Alec Bloom, Imre Gams, Gisela Gams, Martin Ginsberg, Elona Lubick, Rezo Pollock, Claudine Esther Schiller, Joyce Loeb, David Rothstein, Albert Gorman, Philip Waxman, Isaac Goldberg. If there are additional names to add, I invite you to use the Facebook feed. I invite the mourners to rise, and we now join you as we stand as one with these words of legacy, these words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shamei Rabbah, Ve'alma tivrach gerutei v'yamlich malchutei, V'hayachon u'v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Rekudsha B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran Belma v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shamaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and are bereaved among us, and together let us say, Amen. I'm going to invite Miriam back, this time in her role as Vice President, to share with us our Shabbat announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to welcome everyone to our Kabbalat Shabbat service. I'd like to thank Rabbi Michael Berg for tonight's tribute to Sue, organizing the service and putting it all together, and also Ranit for doing that as well. You guys did a really lovely job, and very well deserved to Sue, for sure. So thank you for that. Thanks to student cantor Daniel Geigerman for leading this evening's service, and to Ranit for your technical leadership. We wouldn't be here without it. Torah study on Saturday is at 9 a.m. with Rabbi Michaelberg. Join services tomorrow with Rabbi Michaelberg and soloist Evan Wiener leading. And stay, if you like, for just for Kiddush after with host Margot Montgomery. Talmud study continues on Wednesday at 12:45 with Rabbi Garten. Thursday, June 24th, morning minyan begins at 8 a.m. And Friday, June 25th, we hope to do an outdoor Kabbalat service when Rabbi Michael Berg and soloist Larry Taroff will lead us, starting at 6:15. The plan is to be outside every other week. Please wear a mask and bring a chair or a mat to sit on. All participants must register before Friday noon. So send an email to Kathy at reception@templeisraelottawa.com or leave her a message at extension 5 at the temple number. Shabbat services on Saturday, June 26th will be led by Rabbi Michaelberg and soloist Sue Peteshin, when the bar mitzvah of Ethan Bond will be celebrated. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you, Miriam. And it's funny that it's raining today, because I'll share that the half dozen or so times that we did outdoor services last year, it didn't rain once. So if we're on that same track record, hopefully the sun will be outshining. We're ready for us next Friday for us to connect in person. And just to be clear, you will also be able to watch on the live stream. So there's something for everybody. I'm going to take us back now and with nostalgia to remember those days where we used to gather together in the classroom. Thankfully, we do have some videotapes. So let's close with Zamru, a TIRS favorite. And we'll even be able to think about those times where nobody knew exactly what social distancing was. And that will bring our services to a close. I wish everybody again a Shabbat Shalom.